Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red podcast by Anfield Index. Where I am, as Bob Marley says, the sun is shining, the weather is sweet. I'm excited to see how the Reds get on today, Saturday, 3 o'clock at the Vitality against Bournemouth. In the quiet words of John the Baptist as well, fucking come on, this feels absolutely massive, doesn't it, ladies and gents? No two ways about it. I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from, as I said, a nice change, a glorious Edinburgh. It ain't the warmest per se, but the sun is shining. Hopefully it is good wherever you are and you're enjoying the day. And it is the Daily Red, so we'll be doing the normal. We'll be looking at all the latest Liverpool stories that are out there, previewing the big game, and it is a big game. There's no two ways about that. And talking about the things that are coming up for you at the same time. I mean, Bournemouth, tough team to play. They are in red-hot form right now, but so are we. So are Liverpool are in good form as well. Liverpool are top of the league. Liverpool are 6 points clear with a game in hand. They have absolutely nothing to fear about going to the Vitality. Does that mean it'll be an easy game? I don't suspect that. I suspect there'll be goals in this one. I also think when you think about the game and how it's going to sort of pan out, team's easy to pick, isn't it? I think everyone who was left at home for the PSB encounter, plus probably Robbo at left back, that'll be your lineup. Fingers crossed, because we got a bit of good news. There'll be more on the bench than we think. But I am still confident in saying a Liverpool 2-1 victory. That is what I am going for in this one. But we'll see what Saturday at 3 o'clock brings. And let's be honest, everything is focused on that on the stories this morning. So let's get to it for you. What is on the docket? Well, it started yesterday with Arne Slot's press conference, and we've almost just become accustomed, I think, to his brilliance, just the way he answers things, the news he gives us. But this was the big news yesterday from the head press conference. 3 stars returning. Nunez, Joe Gomez, Diogo Jota were back in training yesterday. Now, just to be clear, before anyone starts going, that'll be Jota up top today, etc., Arne Slot was honest and says, we'll have over 20 players available, which is brilliant news. The availability, it's been amazing this season, hasn't it? It's such a strong positive. So there is no guarantee that any of those 3 will be in the squad. Your gut's probably telling you, though, when you're talking about those 3, a little too soon maybe for Jota and Gomez, although maybe not for Gomez because he was back in full training on Tuesday, so he's had a few days, but you know, there's Kwanzaa, there's Simikas, and listen, I prefer Joe Gomez on the bench, but he's got to be right. We can't take any gambles at this stage of the season. Nunez, however, travelled to Eindhoven, didn't he? It was weird, he was just ill all of a sudden, so we didn't see him, and then he's back. So we're fully expecting Darwin Nunez on the bench. That is my expectation. Luis Diaz will be in the false 9 who stayed home, didn't travel to Holland. Maybe there'll be a bit of late Nunez magic. But that was the big news from the press conference. Those 3 stars, Nunez, Jota, Gomez, back in training. Only thing to maybe say was, what's happened to Curtis Jones? Sort of, I'm going to put it like he stretched his balls, didn't he, and whacked them against Forest. It looked like his groin. There's just been no real update on Curtis Jones since then. But to only have 1 senior player not in training, I think that's a big fill-up for the Reds. No two ways about it. And the other thing to call out about this press conference, where's the right bit? If I've gone to the right bit, actually, I've gone too far, sorry. Mo Salah and the comments made by Arne Slot. So he got asked directly by Vinny O'Connor if you missed this, and I played it on post-conference presser. I did the clip as well. But Arne Slot was really, really clear that he wants Mo Salah to sign. So a lot of people are sort of playing that clip, launching onto it. And that's the word of Arne Slot, that, we've got to trust more than anyone. The only thing to remember is, and a few people have flagged this quite rightly, it's not Arne Slot that makes these decisions, is it? It's Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, FSG, the bean counters, whoever you want to call them. So it's great to hear that. Let's see if anything develops during this week. And we'll be talking more about contracts very shortly. The transfer window is also about to shut, though. And Darwin Nunez doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Now, before anyone says this, there's a couple of things that have come out with Darwin Nunez recently. And there's even a story, and I've got it here from Anfield Index, referencing an article in Goal this morning saying that despite Nunez and say striker's apparent desire for a new challenge, Liverpool opted to keep the Uruguayan forward, prioritising their squad stability over the tempting bid. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, tempting bid, etc., etc. Let's just be crystal clear on this. Goal alluding to a bid. David Ornstein, when he mentioned in his article, Duran, when he first broke that, heading to a Saudi offer, mentioned quite clearly that Liverpool and Darwin Nunez have been looked at by the Saudis. Lewis Steele from the Daily Mail said there is interest from Saudi in Darwin Nunez. And Mike McGrath from the Telegraph also said they were preparing to offer eye-watering wages to Darwin Nunez. And you may think, why am I mentioning all this? Because to be fair, and you've got to give the shout out to him, he got pillared by this, literally nearly tarred and feathered by some elements of the online base. But Sam Maguire was the first one who had that exclusive article about Liverpool turning down the offer for Darwin Nunez. So I'm going to be honest, I fully believe it happened. There's too much noise. There's too many other journalists as well mentioning or referring to this. Whether you like it or not, looks like they've turned it down. 70 million for Darwin. Personal opinion, this. I'd have driven him there. Fuck that. I'd have got him pissed, got him on the plane first class, the lot, to make sure he got there and signed the deal. 70 million quid. And I know, maybe it was a ploy to negotiate more from Edward. Who knows? But I know people are going to say, it's destabilised the squad, etc., etc. But think of how long ago Sam Maguire first broke that. So sort of early to mid-January. I do think we could have got a replacement in. All irrelevant now. Yeah, all hypotheticals. But to be fair to Sam, I do want to give a shout out to him. A journalist mentioned that. So it looks like that exclusive was absolutely bang on around the transfer window. Now, these players. Liverpool could be loan arrangers. There's no incomings, but from the news and the things that came out yesterday, there may be outgoings. One that's almost hokey-cokeyed, or a player that's hokey-cokeyed, is Stefan Bajcetic. On loan at Red Bull Salzburg under Pep, wasn't he? Not really worked out. It definitely didn't work out for Pep. He got the axe swung on him, didn't he? Everyone's favourite Dutch number 2. Wasn't a number 1 anymore. And it's not really worked out for Bajcetic there, hasn't it? Yeah, no, on the bench a lot of the time, going to do stuff, that's how it's pronounced. It's been in the team ahead of him, and it's just right. Stefan Bajcetic, because of his horrendous injuries in a young career, needs to play more than ever. Yeah, and it's good for him in that regard to get this move to Las Palmas, I think. It's his native homeland, plus, and I'm guessing, he's going to play more. That's the key thing, get first team minutes. They're a weird team, Las Palmas. Do you remember Ollie McBurney, that striker from Sheffield United? He's there now. There's someone else I can't remember from sort of British football. So it is an interesting, eclectic mix there. But hopefully for us, Stefan Bajcetic gets minutes there. And speaking of loans, again, Arne Slot mentioned it in yesterday's press conference. James McConnell and Jayden Danns. It was a question asked to him directly by David Lynch about what's the plan for this. And he was quite honest and said, this will wait till the very last minute of the transfer window. As in, if there's injuries on the training ground, we'll see. But yeah, it will go right to the deadline for Liverpool to make their call. And we've said before on the transfer show in various places, there are numerous offers on the loan side for both those players. It might just come down to injuries. But if, touch wood, everyone's good and everyone's fit, you can only hope. I think it makes sense for them to go out and get those minutes. They've got it, Dans and McConnell. I just don't see where the minutes come. And people will say Plymouth. But one game? I just struggle to see that. So yeah, we'll await some news on the transfer window. Not the news you want, I get it, but that's what we've got. Bob Paddock saying there, Gakpo not seen in the team hotel. No, don't be telling us this, Bob. Let's just hope that's just a rumor or something like that. Cody Gakpo is needed today, and we'll talk about him later on in an interview with another former Liverpool forward. Yeah, fingers crossed Cody Gakpo is available. And Bob made a comment there. Super Chat is live. So if you do want to put Super Chat or just comment in the chat panel, throw them in, ladies and gents. It is an interactive show as ever. So we talked about the transfer window. Let's talk about big journos and their stories. So Paul Joyce, well-known, well-respected. I've had him on the podcast. Brilliant journalist, usually one of the first for a Liverpool scoop. He had a story out late yesterday around Virgil van Dijk. And you can see there, as it says, life without him remains unthinkable. It does, doesn't it? The best centre-half in the Premier League, the best centre-half in the world right now. For many people, the greatest centre-half they've ever seen, ever. Full stop. Certain Reds of a vintage will argue about Alan Hansen, and I'd hate when you split people like that. I adore them both. But Van Dijk is special. And as it says there, and that's a line from the article, there remains an expectation around Liverpool that Van Dijk will stay at the club. We've got that expectation. We've got that solid hope. Maybe I'm reaching with this. Does anyone else, and feel free to chuck it in the comments, does anyone else feel it might just hopefully be a bit of a precursor to some positive news? Because it is unthinkable, isn't it? We will see if anything develops in the week. But before then, he's got a masterclass to put on at the Vitality. Other big journalists as well. Jonathan Northcroft, so another well-respected journalist from the Sunday Times, who again had on many podcasts, has put out an article. Now, he's an intelligent, savvy operator, Jonathan, and he knows, and he's not stupid as he's put this by any means. He fully knows what he's saying. So Richard Hughes, look at this. This is from his tweet. Richard Hughes, no, it's an unpopular opinion on here, but I think he's been quite good at his job. And in the article, he does reference Richard Hughes and how he's been a sounding board previously for Michael Edwards. It mentions how he recommended Virgil van Dijk when he was at Celtic to Michael Edwards. Also that he was Edwards' first pick. There's various analysis and detail on Richard Hughes. Now, I'm saying this, and Jonathan knew what he was doing when he put this on. We're saying it with tin hats. I get that with people listening or watching this going, FSG, what? Jonathan, what's the one I saw the other day? FSG propaganda. This is just briefings by Edwards. All the things you can name, etc., etc. Whatever I say, whatever's in Jonathan's article, it is not going to change your opinion on that. Let us not pretend that for 1 single second. However, I'd recommend reading it. He's a brilliant journalist, and there's some bits of this article that I thought that's a really good insight. It's not about bigging up Richard Hughes, please, because you're just going to say that on the surface. My tip, have a read, have a look at the article. I think there's a few bits you might like. Like me, you might necessarily agree with all of it. People will have their opinions on FSG. That's not going to change, but it's our job to tell you what are the latest Liverpool stories out there. So Paul Joyce, Jonathan Northcroft, both with articles out on Liverpool. Not articles, but this one, ladies and gents. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but It's brilliant. I can't recommend watching it enough. You can get it on iPlayer, YouTube, various places. Arne Slot has done a sit down with Gary Lineker for, say, Match of the Day, Football Focus, the BBC essentially, isn't it? I'm just going to play you this clip. I think it's brilliant.
Is it not slightly intimidating coming to Liverpool? I ask this question because you've never been outside Netherlands, with your playing career and your managerial career. So it's not just a step towards a giant of a football club, but it's also a different country where you've never had that experience before.
That is the biggest adjustment I had to make, but then I mostly talk about private life, because in the end, my job is especially over here. So in this office, talking to my staff members, but mainly, and that is everywhere the same around the world, that training pitch over there, that is where you try to bring your ideas across. I've been lucky enough that the culture of this team, I think Jürgen said that in a perfect way, is be in time, work really hard every single day, and try to become a better player every single day. And that is what I noticed from the first day I came in.
Honestly, even just that sort of 45 seconds, just brilliant, isn't it? And in this interview, he talks about, sort of, how would I put it? How he came to Liverpool, what his thought process was, the research that he did. You can see how methodical Arne Slot is, meticulous on every single detail, obsessed almost with detail, isn't he, in that regard? Yeah, Red for Life, best point. It is a brilliant interview. Gary never disappoints, and Arne is just class. There's also a relaxed element to Arne Slot. It gives you quite a bit, and some things you probably already knew, but there was a few bits from it. I was like, that's interesting. Just a little bit of his method and his style of thinking there. So yeah, if you do get, it's about 10, 15 minutes long, definitely have a watch of that BBC Gary Lineker Arne Slot interview. Brill. Next one, there's a bit of tall forward love. Now, Peter Crouch is, I don't really call him a cult figure, I'd say, at Liverpool. Is that fair to say? I think it is. Not a legend, but a cult figure, I think it's fair to say. Talking about another tall forward, Cody Gakpo, and his rise this season under Arne Slot. It's mad to think that at the start of the season, no one would have had this. And if you say you did, I know you're lying. Who had Cody Gakpo having 20 goal contributions at this time? 15 goals, 5 assists. I mean, he is a completely different player, and it's not right to say he is him, but those are Mane-esque numbers at this time of the season. They really are. He's playing the second forward role absolutely brilliantly at the moment, isn't he? He is a first name on the team sheet, and I know Bob put on there that he's not seen at the team hotel. Let's hope that's just one of those nonsense rumours that we'll see. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is it's nice to see Crouchy praising him at the same time. So here's just a snippet from what he said on TNT Sports. Said he's so good from the left-hand side. Diaz has quite often played out on the left with Gakpo playing through the middle. And obviously this season, Arne Slot has swapped them. And he just looks so much better. Coming off the left in the summer for the Netherlands, he was fantastic. And you need that kind of Gakpo week in, week out at Liverpool. And that's what we're seeing this season. It's been a breath of fresh air. He's looking incredibly sharp. I mean, if you think of Gakpo's numbers, 15 goals, 5 assists. What are you setting as a target for Cody Gakpo this season? I mean, it's not unrealistic to think, fitness, touch wood, everything pending, that Cody Gakpo can get 20 goals and 10 assists. We always talk a quality winger is 10 and 10. I mean, 20 and 10, those are they're brilliant numbers. They're probably better than Mane's normal season. And please, I adored Sadio Mane. This is not me comparing the two players directly. They're very, very different. But we've got to give respect to the numbers that Cody Gakpo is bringing at the moment. And whilst they say the goals and assists seem to have dried up for Luis Diaz, and that's not attacking him. I know he's been in that false nine and doing a job there, but the goal contributions really seem to have evaporated. It would be great if he could get back on the trail as well. But why he's not? Cody Gakpo is absolutely killing it at the moment. Let's hope he is at the team hotel. Let's hope he is ready to start today. And as ever, what AI content is out there for you, ladies and gents? So numerous articles, as you can see, that I'm looking here on the AI website, all coming out. And I know they go right up and past kickoff for you. So there'll be plenty there of articles of your thing. If pods, YouTube are your thing, holy shit. Just have a look at this. In the last just pure 24 hours from Anfield Index. You got scouted Guy, Dave and Carl. You got me and Bart did a transfer market metrics. Hugo Ekitike, Malik Diouf, even a review of Ben Doak on whether we think he's got a real future. They're there for you. The Mastan Tuono, I think I pronounced that right. Tom will be killing me. But South American superstar kid. We reviewed him as well with South American expert Tom Robinson. So there's that for you. We did Stat Me Up the other day as well. We did, look at this, all within the day. David Lynch and Media Matters previewing ready for this one. We even did post-conference presser ahead of this one. I mean, that's just on the video published. Look at the recent live ones we've got for you in the last day. As we say, all that there. There was even Chat G&G the other night, a special guest there from another site at the same time as well. Red Alert, we even did this morning for you, reviewing January, me, Mark and James. Yeah? Hugh Hefner and his pomp couldn't get out this much content. Do you know what I mean? Like, just the value you get for money is absolutely superb. What I'm saying is, whether it's YouTube, pod downloads, articles, there is plenty to fill your time before the big fixture. No ways about it. And that's what it's about. So I started with it and I'll end with it in the words of Magnus Magnusson. In this game today, I think the team largely picks itself. It's Alisson in nets. It's Trent, VVD, Ibu. It's going to be Robbo, isn't it? Surely. He came off early against PSV, so you fancy he will start in this one. The midfield three were all rested. Mac, Grav, Szoboszlai. And the forward three, hopefully that rumour is wrong about Gakpo at the team hotel, but assuming he's fit, it's Gakpo on the left, Salah in the middle, and it's Luis Diaz as the false nine there. On the bench, you should have Darwin Nunez and Chiesa to influence the game, Harvey Elliott as well. So there's three game changers there, depending on the game state. Hopefully, I can't see it, but there's a possibility there might be also Diogo Jota and Joe Gomez. Maybe it's more realistic to think of them for Spurs and next Thursday in the Carabao semi. Who knows? But there we are, ladies and gents. It's a huge day. It's a huge game. This is the chance for Liverpool to go 9 points clear at the top of the table and almost just hear the hearts breaking at Arsenal and City, isn't it? It does feel a massive game. There's plenty of twists and turns left, but we'll see what happens. The final thing to say is, what is my prediction? 3 hours or so to kick off. I can't get out my head 2-1. That is what I'm going with. 2-1, Mo Salah to score. Either way, a win and no injuries would be highly erotic on a Saturday, wouldn't it? And Saturday, post-game, you'll have all the normals. You have the Gags Tandon show. During the game as well, don't forget, you'll have Jack doing your watch-along, if that's your thing. And afterwards, the Raw Boys, Dave, Trev, now that electricity is apparently back in Ireland and running water and things like that, should be available for you as well. We'll see what they're talking about, eh? But on Saturday, the 1st of February, it's the first day of a new month. It's hopefully just another routine Liverpool victory. As Red for Life there says, yeah, up these fucking Reds. Cannot wait. Literally salivating ready for this game. That was the Daily Red for Anfield Index.